to this computer. Hey man, thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely.
So we do these. We were doing these every these hero meetups. They're of course recorded. So we post them on YouTube, and anyone can reference them. So all of them are online right now. And the let me actually go this to gallery view. There we go. So essentially, we do these normally every 2 weeks, but in for March, things have just been so. Lots of going on, and that's part of what we wanted to talk to the community about today. So we'll see how many folks come through this morning, but we're super grateful to have you, and yeah, man, like we're and we're also super grateful to have you on the Wednesday sessions, and also the interest to kind of move more into what we're doing as a team formally. So that's fantastic, man. I actually love to take this opportunity just to kind of like learn a bit more about you and like what brought you to JFH. And you've mentioned a little bit of this before, but I'm super interested in like creatively too, like what your background is, because it seemed like you were, when you found out what we were doing, you were like, okay, this is really aligned with some of the stuff that you have personally been wanting to do. So I would just love to hear and have the whole team hear a bit more about what you about your background.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. So I guess a little bit about, what got me into JFH was I think I saw a video on TikTok about, I think it was one of the missions. And I think it was episode 1. And I saw how it was structured, everything that went on. And I was like, wait, what? This is a community that exists? I've always wanted to be a hero and to have something that is like, it's a part of a cinematic universe, a cinematic world that is going, relies on each of the heroes to, piece together stories, collab together. Like it aligns with all the things that I love to do, because I'm out of character, I'm a creative. I I use that label because I'm a dancer, I'm a singer, I'm an actor. I do all sorts of things, whether I'm just like making videos on Instagram or YouTube or TikTok, what have you. But like, so, I love story writing, and especially superhero story writing, and just kind of like the structure of JFH is, you're creating your hero and like applying it to this world and creating a whole story that like pieces that can be pieced together, that can have crossovers, like it's kind of something I've always been excited about doing. And not to mention the most recent mission that came out of the Wash the Hate campaign. Just being able to use the platform to bring awareness to these important issues, these, tackling, how we can apply fictional solutions to real world problems, I believe is how you put it. But yeah. But so a little bit about my character, Guru Merkaba, my hero, he's at age 13, kind of aligns with myself. Age 13 just really felt like there was more to the world, more to self, more to understanding, more to just, life versus, what we've been taught, go to school, learn this, get out, get a good job, do all that. I was like, what about the personal relationships? What about the relationship with yourself? And so I took, basically, same kind of path, took the opportunity to, spend the next 13, 14, 15 years, diving into myself and diving into deeper practices, understanding, traveling, learning spirituality to like all the degrees that you can reach within them, and I applied that to Guru Merkaba. He went through all of this and kind of wanted to reach this place of unity consciousness and find a way that we can kind of shift the world from the old paradigm to a new paradigm, where there's where people are more concerned with bettering the communities versus tackling the smaller issues that could just be easily handled through communication, understanding, finding the root of the issue. And yeah, I mean, really wanted to take a non-violent approach to my hero. So, I mean, I like, my hero is trained in different martial arts, judo being the core of it, and trying to practice the non-lethal techniques and figuring out how to not just be a part of that same trope of the hero flies in, beats up the bad guy, and then the bad guy goes to jail and that's it. Like how do you solve the problem on a deeper level? Do you sit with them? How do you rehab them? How do you bring them to a place where they're gonna have to take a look at themselves and what they're believing in that moment or whatever it is they're doing, and send them down this existential journey that hopefully leads to like something better for them, and by proxy each other.
So, Guru Merkaba, I think you bring up something really, really wonderful, and welcome Grim Reaper and Jay Edwards. So happy to have you back, and I want to talk to both of you guys in a second. And Jay Edward, of course, we're sending lots of love out to your family, hoping everyone's great. But Guru Merkaba, you bring up something really interesting, which is the concept of the nonviolent approach, and you also bring up something else that's super interesting, which is the concept of essentially you're training in martial arts. And martial arts is often associated with action, and I'm a martial artist, and I also consider myself an action filmmaker. So, but when it comes to re-envisioning society, or like literally looking at a different way to do things, and you were saying that certain problems shouldn't even exist because of just simple communication, and the concept of beating up the bad guy and he goes to jail and that's it. As a matter of fact, I think that one of the most, and it's awesome that even Tai Chi Wonder is joining us right now. And he and I were having a very similar conversation a few weeks ago. What's going on, Tai Chi Wonder? But just the concept of re-envisioning society, there's actually in the Lego Batman movie, they say something super funny. They say, Batman, and I'm going to misquote it, but essentially the concept is Batman going around town beating up poor people. And I think that's super interesting. Like for the DC universe to acknowledge that aspect of Batman, which comes from a different time. Like Superman and Batman were created in a different time when, even I think Joel, it's one of the guys' names, but one of the interviewees, one of the creators of Superman had mentioned that they felt powerless as during the time when they created Superman to even stop like simple domestic problems like domestic violence, etc., which is not really a simple problem, but so they created this hero to bust down a door and just stop it, because that's where the thinking ended. And so when it comes to us thinking, because the only way we're going to get there is actually being able to think toward new solutions, we have to have a notepad, like as a society, as a culture. And oftentimes our entertainment is informing us on things that people have already thought about, rather than informing us on new ways to think, which I think Star Trek was one of the best ones to do that. So yeah, I'm just kind of saying all this to kind of get to the point of when you're saying that you're taking a nonviolent approach, and but we're also talking about living as martial artists, like actually training the body. Not everyone on JFH is a martial artist, so you don't have to be. But the whole concept is that if we're training ourselves to think differently about society and think differently about how we're going to approach things, we actually have to together like create ideas. And the notepad is cinema, because we're visualizing. The most powerful thing you can possibly do is visualize your idea to manifest it in reality. So through cinema, we're actually tangibly visualizing, and not simply visualizing like drawing, but we're actually going through the physical motion of acting out. And that is so powerful for change, to act out a different solution. And this is the reason we consistently talk about JFH as a multi-year process, because what we're doing here is going to result in multiple movies, multiple films, multiple shows running simultaneously along a parallel timeline. And that's really the big vision, but that's stuff that we've been talking about for years. As a matter of fact, like we've had those conversations well before we were doing what we're doing now, which is producing with the community. So the community, well, we recognized that we were thinking about it wrong. We're like, you know what, the community itself is the foundation rather than the add-on. So you don't add the community on to your movie. You don't add the community onto your show the way we're doing it. Like we are still a studio. Like ReelwUrld is producing JFH. We're going to have other productions as well and other partnerships with other studios, and they're going to attach community to their films. But for us to showcase how this works from a studio perspective, but also to really build out JFH in a unique way, we have to be working together over the course of multiple years to figure out how to envision a different society together. Like if you're not knocking people out and taking them to jail, even though that is an option, the citizen arrest option that you see in JFH episode 1, which you saw the clip of on TikTok, that's only a 1-minute clip out of a 3-minute episode. Essentially, like that hero Slug does a citizen's arrest, which is a real thing. Of course, this is entertainment, but that's a real thing. So, and it's also a very nuanced thing, because you can actually go to jail for doing citizen's arrest wrong. So that's super important to recognize that, and everyone should do research on their state and what the citizen's arrest laws are. There's some serious stuff there. But even on like there are options to even arrest. You can arrest a police officer, which is research that I've done. And I've never done that. Not that I would even try that, necessarily. But I'm saying that's do your research for your state. But for us to envision a new way, we actually have to acknowledge the way things are done and bridge the gap. So creatively, what we're really doing, kind of what we're actually asking everyone to do with us together as a community, is to look at, hey, and we're going to be better at helping to bring information to the table. The research I just mentioned, we're going to have a library on our website where people can look into stuff and make the research easier for everyone who wants to create. But we just have to think about it. One of the things that we're thinking about with the future of JFH is the concept of safe houses. And there are communities, Guru Merkaba, you might have read some of this in your own research, but there are communities in other countries, more indigenous peoples, and Dr. Wayne Dyer speaks about this, who wrote The Power of Intention. I highly recommend everyone check out Dr. Wayne Dyer, who passed away several years ago. But he spoke about a community where when someone did something wrong, like stole, and instead of actually going like taking them and putting them away, like in jail, what the community did was everyone came out, everybody in the community, and they sat in a circle and they spoke to that one person. Everyone addressed that one person and reminding that one person of all the good that they've done in their life. So yes, the punishment, quote unquote, is actually the reminder of how good of a person you are. And that to me is really interesting, because how do we take that concept and apply that to JFH? This is something that I would like to put in an episode at some point, where maybe somebody, rather than like, someone uses the app, they call a hero to go and get someone who's doing something wrong. And that hero, rather than beating that person up necessarily, maybe they have to subdue them because action is cool, and if you do judo, redirection of force. So you can have awesome action. Jackie Chan is a master of this. You can have awesome action that doesn't feel violent, like you're violating the rights of somebody. So you can have action where you subdue the person, and rather than bringing them to jail or knocking them out or getting them arrested, you bring them home. And in their home, they're reminded by their community of how good they are. And that could be a formative moment in terms of changing the behavior of that person. That to me is just an interesting thing to think about. And like I said, we're going to be better at providing resources to help us as a collective to think about it. But I just wanted to share that, Guru Merkaba, inspired by your thoughts.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Funny enough, yes, I came across that. I did come across that in my research. Because there had to be another way that you can rehabilitate someone without the use of detaining them for an indefinite amount of time or whatever, depending. I mean, it just also depends. But of course, it's also funny that you were going along that way. Not to give away any spoilers for future episodes, but we kind of see something along those lines in once we am able to get back into filming. See that kind of thing happen, especially with the current mission, the Wash the Hate mission. I figured that'd be a wonderful way to kind of start that journey.
Awesome, man. Well, we're so glad to have you, man. And I want to give some more space to some of the other heroes that join us. We have Sensei Claus, but I call him Klaus. After that fish on American Dad, I think his name is Klaus. Well, Grim Reaper, man, it's great to see you. How you doing? You can hear us, and if not, or if you can't speak, that's okay. But how about
I can speak.
Okay, wonderful. What's going on, Grim Reaper? It's good to have you, man.
It's good to have you guys too.
So we'd love to know a little bit more about what brought you to JFH and just some of the background of your hero character. And this is Jan speaking out of character. And in JFH, we normally do in character and out of character. That's one of the things we do. So I'm talking out of character right now. Jan, I'm Jan in both, in character and out of character. My character is my name too. My son's doing homework next to me because he missed a couple days of school this week. So out of character. But yeah, Grim Reaper, we'd love to know a little bit more about like what brought you to JFH and what the background of your hero is.
So the reason why I joined because I was just going through TikTok and then I just seen the GFC and the JFH.
Yep.
So I seen on my For You page and I seen what you guys did. So I thought that was interesting, and then at the end I saw you can join. So I just looked into it a little bit and decided to join. My hero background, I'm just playing as a hero. There's really nothing special to it.
Well, it's a very unique, special name. So I'm sure that there's a lot more to uncover there, and I really think I'm looking forward to seeing some of your journey challenges. We're getting soon within the coming weeks. We're going to be releasing in the app the journey challenges, which help. And Guru Merkaba, this connects kind of something to what you said too. You said I can't wait to get back to filming. But the journey challenges can be shot on your own, and it really helps to it guides you through how to tell your origin story, like a short form version of your origin story. So we'll be releasing those in the app within the coming weeks, so that you can like just shoot on your own. You don't necessarily need anybody else, and that'll help. Even moments like this where we're like, hey, what's your backstory? Rather than us even asking you, everyone could just go and watch your backstory. So that's gonna be really cool. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing that from everybody, including Grim Reaper, who was very mysterious with the background. There's nothing special about the Grim Reaper. Well, thank you, Grim Reaper. So Jay Edward, I know you're here, and we're just checking out on you. We're hoping that everyone's strong and healthy in your family, and we're still looking forward to your character introduction into.
Guys, well, it hasn't gone well. My dad passed away last Saturday.
Oh my God! Our condolences.
He had complications with the COVID. I'm still fighting the COVID. I'm doing better every day. Oops, sorry. There is just so much that I have to deal with right now. Legally, emotionally, and just trying to get better. I mean, right now I have to put on hold absolutely everything is on hold because of everything that's happening. I'm very lucky because I have friends that live in the state that have been helping me. They have brought me food. Literally, I'm surviving because of them, because I cannot go out and buy food or anything because I'm in quarantine. I do feel better, and that's the good news. I every day that goes by, I do feel better. I don't have cramps anymore, and these were cramps like feel like getting stung with a gun. You're like suddenly walking and it hits you, and God, you better have something near you to catch on, grab on, or lean on, or because you'll fall to the floor, man. It was pretty bad. I had fever. I don't have fever anymore. I'm coughing a little bit. I mean, I am doing better. I shouldn't complain. I mean, so much has gone wrong, but the fact that I'm doing better, that I'm still alive, and that I have had people help me, close people that have actually come and check on me, be able to check on me from far away. I'm very lucky. But here I am. I'm fighting. I mean, that's what we do, right? We heroes fight with everything we got.
Brother, that's we're sending so much love your way, man, and let us know how the community can be helpful. You know, we always appreciate seeing you and all the energy you bring, and it's very strong, and it's a testament to your strength, and you know, just again sending so much love and healing thoughts to your family, man.
Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, brother. And when you have more brain space and heart space, you know, we're always here to collaborate. But like I said, please let me know personally, and let us know what we can do. So we love you, man.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Okay, I'm gonna be listening. I'm gonna shut off the video,
Okay,
but I'm here.
sounds good.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, man. Code Gray, it was great to see you, brother. Well, my son's doing homework next to me, so we're gonna help him in a second. But so we got Tai Chi Wonder on here, and it's been you saw him in the Wash the Hate, the pretty much the launch video for Wash the Hate, not the call to action that I'm in, where I'm like, hey, it's gonna be great, but the the video that he and Vintage and Juice did, and you know we've been trying to sync up again for a couple weeks because. There's stuff that we want to do to expand the Tai Chi Wonder story too, but also you know I just thought it was super interesting, Guru Merkaba, to your point, again the nonviolent approach, and you saw the video that Tai Chi Wonder was in, where rather than Vintage kind of striking back at somebody who you know brought negativity to him, Tai Chi Wonder, he called up some heroes, and Tai Chi Wonder responded and Juice responded, and they actually got together and did Tai Chi. And so, you know, I'd be interested in Tai Chi Wonder's thoughts on, you know, just sharing with the community your thoughts on using martial arts, showing martial arts in cinema as a lifestyle to show how you live rather than how you destroy. So I'm super interested in your thoughts on that, bro.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of difficult for me to talk. I got hit with the COVID-19 as well. So I've been really, really low key with no energy and things of that nature. So it's been a good opportunity to practice more Tai Chi. That being said, my thoughts on applying the lifestyle of a martial artist, right? Just physical activity, breathing in exercise, a lot of movement exercise, and then a little bit more on the physical side, whether it's weightlifting, horse stance, shadow boxing, kicking, things of that nature. It definitely helps to build a new discipline. Like in the boxing community, there's this thing going around called gloves up, guns down. It's a really cool movement, and it's getting more and more people encouraged to just start putting gloves instead of taking out guns, right? Taking it back to the 90s and 70s and 80s, etc. Back to The Warrior. I don't know if anybody remember that movie, The Warrior, where that group would travel from Coney Island. They got lost.
Watched it. We just watched The Warriors 2 weeks ago.
You're preaching the choir here, Ruben.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's even better.
Yeah, I could see that movie at least like 5 times, man. It's a great movie. Very encouraging. You know, as far as having a community and going from one location to the next and surviving to get there, and using your smarts and using everyone's ability to really achieve the goal, right? The warrior is a good example of knowing each other's abilities, and they get there, right? So my further thoughts on applying martial arts or some form of physical practice to your lifestyle is, for me, is crucial, man. I need it. Even when I couldn't breathe throughout the week, I'm like, wow, I didn't think COVID was anything. No, the thing actually hits hard, and you actually can't breathe. So doing more breathing exercise and just doing more lighter exercise definitely helped. Like, it just helped me recover faster. Yeah, it's definitely something that should be applied into your life. Martial arts or any kind of exercise of that nature. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much my thoughts on it. I kind of lost my train of thought of where I was going with this, besides the fact that how important it is for me and for another person to apply some form of physical activity, or in essence, martial arts or Tai Chi. I mean, it's the same thing, but Tai Chi it's more on the lighter side, but it has a lot of health benefits, and it's less strenuous. But yeah, that's pretty.
Hold on for a second. As the coach of the U.S. Tai Chi push hands grappling team, it can be very, very intense and very, very strenuous. But the foundation of Tai Chi, it has a level of mindfulness that is essentially the mechanics of that mindfulness are, in my experience, best represented in Tai Chi. And therefore, if you take those same mechanics and apply them to any art, literally anything, you'll have that much more of a connected experience to that thing that you are doing, whether it's boxing or golfing or walking. So I just have to throw that in there to properly represent. So thanks for sharing that. And Sensei Class has something to add to that.
Yes, I don't want to derail things too much, but the thing about something like Tai Chi is it's a lot more nebulous than other concepts in martial arts. For example, judo is very concrete. We all understand what that is. It's stand-up grappling, wearing uniforms on a mat. And for the most part, that's the size of it. Tai Chi is 100 of these 100 different contexts. I'm not saying better or worse. I'm saying, say, push hands, that's part of Tai Chi. We know what push hands is. It's pretty well defined. You have several different modalities and all that. And you get an understanding of what it is pretty quickly. But Tai Chi, there's a dozen families who do things their own way. And they all have their own origin stories. Some say this is right, some say that's right. It's not a cohesive thing. It's more a family of martial arts.
It's only 5 branches.
There are 5 branches, but the thing is that when you get closer in and you zoom in a bit, you find more as you go.
Well, then not to make this a Tai Chi conversation, but I'll say that the work that we've done, like on the U.S. push hands team, looking into training Tai Chi and then going to the Tai Chi World Cup and competing with the best in the world in the sport, and recognizing that there are people who are very esteemed in the community that look down upon the concept of competition in the Tai Chi world, kind of puts us in a position where it pushes me to have a perspective of Tai Chi that essentially recognizes how nebulous it can be, especially in America, when people want to be perceived as masters or gurus of an ancient Eastern philosophy. And so it's like when you get that level of ego connected to it, it really takes away from Tai Chi being what it is from my perspective, is one, a human performance tool, and 2, a gateway to other modalities that are actually more nebulous, but Tai Chi in and of itself, as the gateway, can allow you to find very, very practical ways to redirect energy. redirect pressure inside your own life and toward your goals. So that's its own talk, which three of us should probably have a panel on this. But
I hope everybody's writing this down, man, because these are jewels, and this is coming from the #1 U.S. Olympic Tai Chi winner.
Tai Chi push hands was not in the Olympics; it was only the form, and that was the 2008 Olympics. And I was supposed to go to that, but then I decided to work on justice for hire and creative impulse to build a business, and so I didn't make it out to I was going to fight Sancho actually. But I didn't do it. But our cast member Max Chen did. He went out to China and represented the U.S. You'll see Max Chen. He's in the recent PSA that we put out this past week, and he's also the star of JFH episode 2 with Vintage and Black Straw Hat, and so definitely check that out because that won us the best web series award at Warner Media's event in November. So it's really great work from them. I want to say hi to before we shift gears to Code Gray, because we have a bunch of announcements. So I want to say hi to Code Gray and just check in with him, man. Code Gray, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Doing great, brother. We miss the seeing more of your energy. We see that you have a whole new look going on, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I wanted to change things up a bit. I tried out that mask when I was I made like you know what VidHug is?
Is it a video hugging platform?
It's basically where like, a person can organize a quote unquote VidHug for another person and like, basically just like send a nice message to them and like corral people together to send messages to them. And one of my friends, her mom organized one for her birthday, and pretty recently my face got kind of messed up, and I didn't want to show my face in the VidHugs, so I wore that mask for it because it was also kind of an inside joke with that friend. So I figured she'd find it funny, and I was like, actually, I look really good in this mask, so I might as well make it part of my aesthetic.
First of all, are you okay? Was this
yeah, I'm fine.
Like superhero work that you're doing? Like everyone, he's in the real life superhero community. So,
I'm fine. But thank you for asking. I appreciate that.
Okay, yeah, man. Well, we want to make sure you're good. So you asked a question on DM, and I want to bring this to everybody's attention because this has been a big shift since we went viral on TikTok, and we're still figuring out how to deal with all the energy that's come with us through there, and that's part of the reason the app is live. There's some announcements around the app that we'll talk about in a few minutes, but you had mentioned that Code Gray had a previous alias, a previous hero name, and one thing that we anticipate, especially as fans of the hero genre, but also the understanding that a person changes and that as you change. Sometimes even your name changes. So as we go through like the years, the months, the days, months, years, and what we're doing with JFH, we actually anticipate heroes changing their names. Some villains might become heroes. Some heroes might say, I'm going to act more villain. So like all these things are going to happen within our cinematic universe. But so one of the things that we're really clarifying is that one of the things that makes us different from, let's say, from a production standpoint, what we're doing with JFH, but what we're doing, especially from the ReelwUrld perspective, which once again is the startup like social film studio that's producing JFH, is that what we're doing hasn't been possible before because of one idea, and it's the idea of you submitting content, which to me, to a certain extent, is insulting because this submission process that certain studios would do, it probably started in 2014 or 2015 with Dell. Dell did a film. This is a quick cinema history, but Dell did a movie with a director, and I think Tom Hanks' son was in it, something like that. And you could essentially submit your idea for monsters that they're going to have in the movie. But any submissions were essentially owned by the studio. And this is something that's actually fairly similar, happens fairly often. Where if you submit something, the studio owns it, you no longer have any control over it. And we want to do things differently, specifically with JFH, because when we do projects with other studios, we may be under those same limitations. But for JFH, we're like, you know what? Let's make sure JFH is pushing the envelope on everything. So rather than calling it a submission, we're like, okay, you own everybody. Rather than you submitting something and then you lose ownership and control over it, you actually own your character, you own your story, you own every piece of image and video that you create in JFH. What we have is a non-exclusive like right to utilize that once you submit it to us. And if it's monetized, we share revenue, we share profits with you guys. So if you, more specifically, if like the place that we really see monetization happening sooner rather than later is on the series. So if your video appears in the series, the series that we're producing, that you've seen, episode 4 will come out probably next week. But after episode 4, it's actually going to get way more dynamic because the first 4 episodes were produced on a much smaller scale. So if your stuff starts popping in this series and it's monetized, then you're going to get paid for that. 1 second, buddy. One second. So after I finish this thought. My son's doing homework. So, so when it comes to Code Gray, when it comes to you or anybody else that submitted content, the one thing that we put on the website, on the app now, that before you enter the app, is a clarification that people can't delete. So it's that you can make private and you can hide from public view, but in a similar idea of the submission process of the like the old guard, where you submit it and it's like, okay, it's gone, I've submitted it. If we as the studio are taking content that you've created and putting it into a production pipeline for a series or episode, and then let's say a character changes their name or says, you know what, I really don't like that video anymore, I want to do this one, that can actually totally disrupt the production pipeline. And so therefore, if we're making a product together that's going out to a very wide audience, if it's essentially called picture lock. If we get picture lock on something and then somebody wants to change change a video that's already in picture lock, then it becomes problematic for the entire production and lots of people. So the way we figure this out is to say, you know what, while we can't delete stuff, we can't allow deleting on the app, etc. Anybody can make their stuff private so that no one can see it except us, because you've sent it to us. So if you send to us and you're like, you know, I really don't like that much, but we're like, hey, this is actually perfect and awesome and exactly what the series needs, then we would put it in this episode. And if it gets monetized, you get paid from that. But if there's stuff on social, for example, that we've posted previously, we can easily make stuff like private, especially for this kind of, for when we're at this scale, at least right now, where it's not like, 100 people on this Zoom saying, hey, you know what, I've changed my name and I want to make stuff private. Like we can totally make stuff private, we can archive stuff, etc. So that essentially achieves the concept of delete.
Okay, thank you.
So that I just wanted to clarify that it's easy for us to make stuff private, but stuff that you previously submitted, like we were already thinking about how to bring the Code Gray persona and bridge the gap, and you'll get a private message from me on this, actually, to bridge the gap from your previous persona, because that's something that we'll likely be talking about or reference in the series itself. So we're like, your stuff is already going in the actual series. So we should talk about that. So yeah, I just wanted to address that, just to be super clear. You can submit anything, you can post anything in JFH, share anything, create anything. You can make anything private, but once it's submitted, and that's part of like the thought process. Like, this isn't just a normal social network that we're building. The social network is the cinematic universe. So we call it a brick in the bridge. If someone puts a brick in a bridge and then like years later wants to take it out, but the whole bridge has been built around it, then it's like, well, hold on for a second. Like, if you take that brick out, like the whole bridge is now weaker and falls. So it's really this from even a legal standpoint that allows us, one, to do what we're doing, and two, actually that allows us to legally do what we're doing, and also to from a very practical standpoint, actually build a cinematic universe with the community. So I hope that was answered the question, Code Gray, and I'm interested in your thoughts and response, and everyone's thoughts and response on that concept.
No, thank you very much. I think that's a really cool concept, and that's really well thought through, and that and I really I think I understand just like what we're doing a lot more now that you said that. Thank you very much.
Great. That's awesome. I really appreciate that. And Sensei class, you have something to add to that?
Yeah, this might be the negative side to it, but the mentality I have is the internet is forever. Once something's up there, you might as well figure that someone's going to have it, whether you take it down, whether you delete it or not. So even if there was a scenario where we could legally, choose to delete something, take the bridge down, whatever, it would still be there. We wouldn't necessarily have it, but somebody would. So that's just my mentality, is the internet's forever. If you don't want something up there, think before you post it, whatever it is.
I very much agree with that. It's what we learned growing up in school, and I feel like a lot of people, like especially us younger members of Gen Z, who were born like past the year 2000. It's something we learn in school, and then just like people disregard it all the time and it's how it goes sometimes.
Just to clarify what you said, you said that that from a younger Gen Z perspective, the disregarding of the internet is forever kind of idea. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's, I mean, it's true, and it's up to the brand, because even from Google, if you require, they will delete, but it's up to the terms and conditions that you sign when you create your Google account. So I don't want to get into a technical discussion around this. I'm totally in agreement with Sensei Claus, and this is something that I feel that we want from our community, not just to post something like a 2 seconds video, but think before. And that's why we have the assets on the website, the music, the logos, and everything, because we want to use the app to guide you and take your content to the next level. So I'll just say that it's just that it's not quite forever. You can delete it at one point, but yeah, that was just my thoughts on it.
So Jay Edward, what's going on?
Okay. Well, I mean, you guys, we're doing something very positive with this. There is really very little that you can lose. One, you own your own IP, you own your character. Sorry, put my finger there. Okay. You have plenty of time to think through how your character comes into the story and what it's bringing to the world. There's so much information. There are so many resources where you can help your character to build a better character and better story. There is no way that you cannot find any information on how to improve your characters. Anywhere you Google, I mean, there are a ton of videos on YouTube, anywhere. I mean, just anywhere you can find information on how to make amazing characters. Research is something that is essential whenever you are creating IP. We have plenty of time on how to do everything, like from the idea of your character, on how to develop a great story, all the way to how to actually film it. The resources are out there. All you gotta do is look for it, you'll find it. And that's pretty much all I had to say.
Thank you, man. Like, and just for anyone who doesn't know, IP means intellectual property. So, that's often, word thrown around in the business, and everybody's character is their own intellectual property in the way that we do things with JFH, which is why every time we have one of these meetups, I mentioned, like, we're going to find the next 100 Deadpools on the JFH platform in this manner. Like, that's why we're saying there's going to be multiple shows, there's going to be multiple movies, because a bunch of people from our community are going to have characters that are so good that not only is everyone going to love them, but you'll likely be able to strike a deal on your own, or like we can help you broker that essentially for your own series. Like that's the real vision here, is that you can have your own character with your own series that goes off and does whatever it does. And if it integrates JFH or not, that's up to you. But like that, the cool thing is that you actually have a platform, that everyone has a platform to like build out their story world and interconnect it with other characters. The way I personally use JFH, I'm hoping that that this is how everyone gets it. But I'm walking around outside with my phone. We're streaming on TikTok right now, by the way. And I'm walking around. I'm just like, oh, this would be a great shot for this scene later on. Like, I have my like story so planned out, and my story is separate but connected to the JFH universe too. It's really the app that unifies us, the concept and the idea, but not necessarily everything that I do is JFH. Not everything, etc. For Tai Chi Wonder, for Sensei Claus, for Code Gray, for everybody. And with that said, I really want to segue into us making a shift. We are, because the app is live and we launched Cast Chat this past week, like on the app itself, we're actually going to be making a transition slowly but surely away from Instagram and Discord as our main communication channel. There's still, from a business standpoint, that's that's social media. That's where people are discovering us, and then they're like, oh, I want to see what JFH is, and they join. But we really want this to be a robust experience for everybody. So I'm not sure if everyone on here has actually gone into the app at some point, but we would love it if you're not on your phone. Or if you're on your phone, or if you're on your, it might be a little more challenging on your phone, but if you're on your phone or you're on your computer, we'd love to actually bring people into the app now and actually like play around with chatting together, so that we can actually see each other on there. And this is a second screen experience. So like, don't it's you don't need to use the video. If you've already created a video, etc. You can always go back into the app and do your hero video, etc. But essentially, just being able to go right into the app, justiceforhire.app is the address, and just be able to actually log in. And if you have trouble logging in, or if you haven't claimed your hero profile, Andra, our CTO, both in character and out of character, is here, and so we can help you with that. I know that Sensei, I know Grim Reaper, Sensei, Guru Merkaba, all you guys are already in the app. J. Edward, I'm not sure if you've already come in, because I know we've been waiting for your hero name and hero experience. But if you were to go on and create a new profile, you can always change your hero name later. But yeah, we'd love to. We'd love to do that now. So if everyone go to justiceforhire.app. I also had a couple other things I wanted to touch on. Let's see, potentially testing. Yeah, so today we were hoping to launch the direct messaging, actually. So that's
yeah.
Okay, yeah, but we're not going to launch the direct. Do you still want to test it?
It's tested. I want to test it internally. And
okay, so we're not going to test that.
The Cast Chat experience.
Okay, yeah, it would just be wonderful to get everyone on there to see how see how this works if you haven't already done it before. I know Guru Merkaba has, Sensei Claus has, but yeah, we'd love to get everyone on there. I'm going there right now to justiceforhire.app. There we go. Looks like this.
It's pretty cool. So I get there, and the first thing it asks me, like, if I want to be a hero. So, I noticed I haven't registered. I think I tried registering before, and then somehow something happened where I couldn't log in. Whatever the case it was. So I'm on the app right now, and it's so easy to use, and it's, and it's like, okay, upload a video. Okay, do that later.
But Tai Chi Wonder, you already have an account, right? So you don't necessarily need to do the act as a new user.
Would you happen to send me the info? Because I can't log in.
I will send it to you, but I thought you claimed your profile. Give me one minute, because I'll send that in a DM.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so she can message you privately here, so you can get your access. But I'm in, And what's going on, guys? So hey, anyone who's on TikTok, you can join us too at justiceforhire.app. We're going to be testing out Cast Chat, which is live, and you guys can see everybody. We're here.
We're gonna be using it.
We're using it. Yeah. So the whole point, the whole concept here is that we have Cast Chat available on Instagram, but we actually have multiple Cast Chats on Instagram. So that means that our community is like fragmented. Not everyone can talk. And then our solution to that was, okay, let's have our own Discord. So everyone joined on, like everyone's joined on Discord. The whole thing is that we're not that active on Discord. So people go there and they're like, hey, what's going on? And I see all these people that have said something once, but we're like not there all the time. Because like we're actually doing our best to build the infrastructure that everyone can actually join. So now the infrastructure is built. So we need to start migrating with a great exodus to, and again, this is all about the Cast Chat really should be focused on us, talking in character or out of character, because there's that option. You can actually toggle between talking, like I'm talking out of character right now, I'm Jan, but like you can also talk in character, and I would also talk as Jan. But also being able to push your collaboration, like hey, you know what? I want to make a video with Grim Reaper. Okay, cool. So how do I make this video with Grim Reaper? Even though we might be in different parts of the world. Well, let's talk about this and actually like create an idea. And there's all this stuff to be able to do there. And especially as our challenges come out, you'll find more ways to actually, you'll find ideas that you can just take on rather than coming in necessarily having to come up with something completely original. You'll find some great like content guides, but it's really it's up to everybody. And so yeah, it's going to be fun as we build this out. In the next few weeks, you're going to see a lot more robust stuff come on there, and there's already some cool stuff on there.
Now, what is that word?
Excuse me, 1 second, guys. My son's got another homework question.
All right.
Code Gray, I also have a question for you. I'll ask you in Cast Chat too. But I mentioned, you had mentioned that you were working on like your own like origin story stuff and writing a script. And I'm wondering like how's that process going? Because we think a lot and around the what we call the truncation, like essentially shortening of every stage of like filmmaking. How do you take these stages that can take months and years, and how do you get them done in minutes and actually also have quality? That's like a major thing that we're always thinking about. And so I'm super interested in what's going on with your screenwriting process and how your story's going.
Well, the story itself, I've had no problem developing that. It's just that I don't want to start filming if I don't know what I'm doing. So I've been taking a videography class lately. I've been learning about lighting, about angles, stuff like that. And by the time and just like about production and like, Foley and stuff like that. So by the time I'm done learning like more in depth about the filming, like the videography aspect of it, I feel like I'll be able to actually produce content that has an amount of quality that will give it like, the independently developed vibe while also being enjoyable.
So that's interesting to me that you're saying that you're having, how would I put it? You said that you want to know what you're doing. So yeah. I think that's really interesting because like, what does that mean for you? Is it you want to know what you're doing from the standpoint of professionalism, so that or are you seeking just to? Because when I see your videos that you shoot, they're great videos. So I'm interested in, and matter of fact, you were actually one of the first heroes to put together an edited video for your hero profile video. So like, I'm really interested in what you mean by like, know what you're doing, when it seems like you know what you're doing.
the video, I mean, in terms of editing, I know what I'm doing. It's just that the videos that I want to shoot are going to be like, first person filmed. They're going to need other actors. And so part of this process has been looking for people to act in my videos, but with COVID and all, a lot of my friends are high risk. So, and I'm high risk too. So that's been a bit difficult trying to get together with people.
Interesting. Okay, so yeah, we're going to fast track this challenge stuff, and I think that so would it be helpful for you? And hey, Coward's Bed, I'm super interested in what your hero name is. I don't think I've seen you on here before on our hero meetup. So we'll say hi in a second. But so and I guess this is a question to everybody. Like, what would you like? Because there's a perspective that we have in terms of if you want to make a movie or a scene, and there is an ability to essentially guide you, not through saying, hey, make this person say that per se, like not telling you what to say or to do, but to essentially help guide the process so that you can have the story that you want faster. Like that. Is that something that you feel like would be helpful for you, Code Gray, and everybody in the app?
Yes, definitely.
100%.
Okay, cool. That sounds like both a Grim Reaper and a Code Gray thumbs up. So we have that stuff. Yeah, the journey challenges. So like I said, we're gonna fast track that because we put some of them out on social, but it's so tough to keep to centralize. Yeah, it's a really like when each poster we put out on social kind of changes what people are thinking about what we're doing as a community, and I think that it's a testament to all of you who are on here with us who've kind of gotten like, hey, okay, there's something cool happening here and we're building towards something. And so I'm going to stay around and I'm going to keep on learning more and more and like keep on covering layers. And so I think this is great to hear this from you, because like the next thing we're doing, again, bringing everyone to the app. We're on the app right now. I just found a little bug that we're going to.
So the message remains after you send it.
Yeah. So I've sent the message like saying, I kept on pressing send. So you see all these here's there.
Yeah.
And so
it was just excitement. One quick thing.
For me or for okay?
No, you can leave it on.
Okay. Andre is saying something.
We can test, but we would have to change the environment to the test environment. So I don't want to confuse everyone. But if there are options, we can do that.
I don't think we need to do that because.
But my intention for today, from an app perspective, because I've seen some of you during the Wednesday sessions, and I see that you created your characters, was for you guys to interact, for all of us to interact on the cash chat, because now we're not split, as Jen said, and then just to make sure that we complete the profiles and with what we have up until now. So that's just a clarification that I wanted to share with everyone.
Makes sense.
So just a quick question. J. Edward, you still have I see your hand up. You have a comment, a question? Okay, so yeah.
I was just I think I need to put it back down from earlier. I was just commenting in the chat room, like just watch a ton of movies, because there is so much to learn from the movies. Those scenes that you like, just watch them, study it, the lighting, the camera angles, the action, everything is in there for you to see it. Just break it down. If you see something that you like, watch it many times and figure out how it was done. You can learn so much from something that's already, on Netflix. Remember that if you're gonna be saying lines, is not just fighting, you're gonna have to have good audio. So there are a lot of things to keep in mind, but there is so much to learn from the material that's already out there. And that's pretty much it.
Well, man, I think it's a great point too. Can you close your bedroom door, please? Thank you. It's a great point too. That is actually the same thing he just said about. And thank you for mentioning Hardcore Henry, because that's on my list. I just put it back on my list last week or the week before. I have not seen that yet. But essentially, that same process of studying is the same thing you do for anything, right? Like, if you're an athlete, you study your tapes. If you're martial artists, you study the moves. So yeah, it's a big deal. I highly recommend that too. But just quick, Coward's Bet, you're new here. So what's going on? Do you have a hero name? Are you part of the community yet? Or are you thinking about joining?
Oh, hello. I'm very interested in joining all of this. I've just been trying to get in, and I had a little panic attack about trying to make my own video like you guys did. I've seen yours, and they're like all really amazing, but I don't have like the expertise to know how to like make something that good.
Are you talking about the shot where I'm hanging off of a helicopter with a slow motion explosion in the background? You must be. No, no, that. Oh, no, you must be talking about Andra jumping out of a plane. You know.
Yeah, I was thinking. I was like.
I'm kidding. I don't
thinking
have
about
an explosion.
didn't even know that you know it was like a possibility. Like except for like high budget movie studios and stuff.
Well, so that's what we're really changing the narrative here together. I mean, literally everybody on this call, everyone who's a part of the community, even if they just follow, they're actually contributing to the change. So that's what we're all doing. And the fact is that it should be as easy for you to be in a movie and make a movie as posting on social media. It should be, and it will be, and that's what we're building. So the when it comes to you saying, hey, you know what, like I may have some apprehension about getting in front of the camera and shooting something because it won't be as good. It will be because it's you. Like you are the star of your story. So no one else can be the star of your story when it's about you. So I think it's really, really important for, even if you just pick up your camera, like we're still streaming on TikTok right now, just pick up the camera and I just say, hey, I'm Jan, I'm in JFH because of this. Like that in and of itself is your hero video. If you want to be a hero, if you want to be a villain, villains right now they're still hiding in the app. But you're posing as a hero because they're story-wise, heroes are going to manipulate heroes in the app. But yeah, I mean, like if we could be at all helpful, let us know. Please ask any questions. Ask any of the heroes on here any questions. And I think Andra may even have some insights that she wants to share right now.
I just.
Sorry. Coward's Bet. Why don't you go first, and we'll take it. What were we gonna say?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. The story for my character would be like around the inner conflict I may have with good and evil. So I was like, maybe I can make a character that wants to do their best to be a hero, but is constantly held back by their alter ego.
That's all. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's great. I had two thoughts on. Thank you for joining, and we have on the onboarding process. You're gonna see Jen and Autumn on the videos, the explainer videos, to help you shoot your own profile video. And then a second thought. One of my favorite speeches ever talks about being today better than yesterday and tomorrow better than today. So the only one you're in competition with is with yourself and the way your story evolves. We're here to grow together, and you'll find a community that's very supportive, and you'll learn from all of us. And we're here anytime. So as J. Edward was saying earlier, just try, like, watch movies, and then we're gonna launch the challenges, the journey challenges, which is practically hand-holding and taking you through all the process to build your own origin story. That was just the thoughts that I had. And if you have any feedback on those onboarding videos, please share, because it would be helpful also for us.
J. Edward, you gotta.
Yes. Remember that you don't necessarily need to be a cinematographer to capture an act of kindness, an act of a hero. Remember, a lot of acts have been caught by surprise by security cameras on the roads and in the buildings, in elevators. I mean, you can set up your camera to where the action happens from a security camera, and you don't even have to worry about sound, like really capturing what's being said. I mean, it's just the act that needs to be caught on the camera from the right angle, from the right distance, so that the action that you're creating is actually caught well on your camera. And I mean, you can add, you know, music after that, or you can do, you must say something, you can do ADR later on, and they'll fix it, because most of the movies do ADR anyway, audio replacement. So I mean, there's so many ways that you can go without having to worry much about, oh my God, I'm not a cinematographer, what am I gonna do? You set up your camera to where it's like from the perspective of a security camera, and you can get all the action that you need to make it work.
Yeah, I'll say this too. I haven't posted this yet, so that's great. And ADR essentially, I mean that's more of a formal filmmaking term. But essentially, you know, what if you want to shoot something and then add a voiceover? There are apps to help you do that. Eventually, our app will help you do that, but it's one step at a time. You know, like I'm just one person, just one person.
But I do have a great team, and the more people step up to the test team and the coding team and all this, we're gonna grow really beautifully together. So we're gonna get there.
But when it comes to, you know, I mean, I have a scene where I literally put the camera like on a wall. Now when I say a wall, I just leaned it against a wall, and I was just taking a hit from off screen. You can take a hit from off screen if you want to have an action scene by yourself. You could totally do that. And there's also like we have workshops that we did in the fall that Andra just reminded me of with our Warner Media event, and these workshops. You know, and there's a bunch of there's training workshops. There's a action camera workshop. We actually have 2 journey challenge workshops that are up that'll help you kind of go through like shooting like your own hero pose. We have one that's for setting that we'll put out. We even have an acting workshop that's right on our YouTube channel right now. So all of that stuff when we launch our watch page, a lot of that stuff will be populated in the app, so it'll be centralized, so you don't have to like go through swim through stuff, but to find it in the internet, in the interwebs. But yeah, it'll be great. And so but Coward's Bet, like we're happy to have you here. And if you have any questions of any of the heroes that you might have seen stuff from, please feel free to ask. A bunch of folks are here right now, and everyone's willing to help.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. And I actually was in one of your live streams maybe a few weeks ago. My name was Rogue.
Awesome, Rogue. Cool. Happy to have you back then.
Yeah, it was it's a really interesting and intriguing concept, actually, having your own cinematic universe. And I'm excited to do the best I can to be integrated with you guys.
Awesome, man. Well, again, it's really just it's showing up. It's showing up and it's doing your thing. You know, like the way that we see the future of filmmaking in general, but that we're doing it with JFH, right? Like to build a model for it, is that it has to be about your story. It has to be about you, and it has to be about you like going through whatever you're going through, because that's how like you looking into yourself is going to actually make the most interesting story. And you know, everyone's story is actually really, really interesting if the right platform is provided for people to tell it. So that's what we're doing, and we're framing it within some fun stuff, so that'll actually have some really wonderful real world implications. So, but I just want to say we're grateful for everybody. You know, these tests are I mean, these meetups we normally do them every 2 weeks. We will do our best to be back on that schedule. in April, but like I said, going viral on TikTok, launching our app, and figuring out how to take, like there's a bunch of heroes on TikTok that, you know, I mentioned this earlier to the team, that we just don't personally know yet. And we actually want to have a personal connection with each person. Everybody who came on Instagram and Discord, like I actually personally have talked to them, to everybody. So as we build out, as we scale, obviously that might become a little bit more challenging, but we still need to have some sense of personal connection, because that's really, I think it's just really, really important for the way that we're doing this. It's a really interesting community, and you guys are, each one of you is just so inspiring. So like, I personally just get massively energized every time I talk to one of you guys and hear about your stories. So it helps me tell my story. So so I'm just really grateful for you guys. And did anybody else, like, just kind of closing, like, does anybody else have anything that you want to share, say, etc.? Oh, so Santa Claus got his hand up. Yeah, I'm going to mute myself.
Okay, yeah, so this is a bit of a weird angle, but one thing that people forget is it's very easy to impress people if you know how. Not that I do, but I've seen it done well. So you might want to send this part out in the live stream, but this is a breakable board, got it a few days ago. It costs like 25 bucks, right? You do something with this, it's easy, you know, but impresses people. So what I'm saying is, if you have some trick, something you know how to do, someone's gonna like it.
Hold on one second. Hey, that board, does it go back together, or did you just break that over your head?
It's breakable.
Okay, so it's a breakable board. It's fun.
Yeah, it's a karate thing.
But that's not a.
He's
that's,
asking if you can do it again.
No, I mean, I am to a certain extent asking you to do it again, but I'm saying that's a prop though. That's not the actual karate board, right?
No, it is.
Really?
I'm not gonna buy a prop. I mean, the real thing is a lot sturdier.
Wow.
Like, if I want to buy a prop one, it's gonna cost me almost as much. This is.
The boards I've broken are you can't put back together. So I've never seen one of those. That's awesome.
Okay, yeah, no, it's for training, but they're easier to break than people think.
Wow.
It's like a little more than half an inch, I guess. Yeah, no, I mean, you're not supposed to use your head. I just thought that was the funny way to do it. You're supposed to break with your hands, but my head's here on screen, so, you know.
So my son is over here saying that the boards he's broken, they can't be put back together either. So we're all amazed right now.
Okay. No, these are pretty standard. I think they've been out since the 90s. Pro Force. Like I said, I mean, if you want to impress somebody, stack it up. They come in usually like a few colors. Like, this is black, supposed to be for black belts. It's not that hard.
And you don't have to break boards, Carriage Bet or Rogue.
No, that's just the prop I had on hand. My point is, there's a lot of stuff you can do, and a lot of it is easier than you'd think.
Thank you, Sensei Klaus. Klaus, any other thoughts, ideas, anything anyone wants to share? Grim Reaper, Guru Merkaba, Carriage Bet, Rogue, Code Gray, J. Edward, Autumn, Andre. All right, guys. Well, I just want to say thank you again, as usual. This is always massively energizing doing these things, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. If you want to join the app test team to test the new stuff that's coming out, we do those meetups every Wednesday at 4 o'clock.
4 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, 4 p.m. Eastern. So we're on there, and
we'll see you on the cast chat.
Yeah, and we'll see you on the cast chat. So we love you guys. We're grateful, and we will see you soon. And looking forward to any video content that's coming for to the community from you guys too. And please always DM anywhere, wherever you want to DM, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, email. We're here. So and we love you guys. We're grateful. We'll see you soon. I'm going to stop the recording.